Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be discussing the absolute insanity of Ivy Forrester's fake kidnapping, her shocking descent into madness, and Melissa Dillon causing the biggest corporate espionage scandal in Forrester history. I literally cannot even believe what I just watched on my screen tonight. I am typing this up at 2 in the morning because my brain is spinning so fast that sleep is completely out of the question. I am so full of adrenaline and rage and shock that I just need to get all of this out of my system right now before I absolutely explode. If you have not watched the latest episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful, you need to pause this, go watch them, and then come back here because we have to talk about this mess. I have been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen some truly unhinged storylines. I mean, I survived the whole Baby Beth saga. I survived Sheila Carter shooting her own son in an alleyway, but this might actually be the wildest, most chaotic, most destructive sequence of events the writers have ever pulled off in a single week. Let us start with Ivy Forrester because I am just so furious. I can barely see straight. I knew she was losing her mind. We all knew she was losing her mind. Ever since Daphne Rose Walton finally grew a backbone and exposed Ivy for stealing Electra's letter and tossing Will's necklace, Ivy has been on a downward spiral. But I did not think she would go this far. I mean, I knew she was delusional when she marched right up to Ridge. Forrester, completely unrepentant, and tried to pitch a romance between Electra and RJ, like she had not just committed a massive HR violation. But the pressure finally broke her. Electra completely alienated her. Steffi and Ridge were breathing down her neck, ready to fire her, and Ivy just snapped. She completely lost whatever tiny shred of sanity she had left holding her together. Instead of just apologizing, instead of just taking the L and going back to Australia, what does Ivy do? She stages a fake kidnapping. A fake kidnapping. I am screaming at my television. She actually orchestrated an entire fake abduction just to make Will Spencer look like a dangerous, unhinged criminal. I cannot believe they did that. I mean, we have seen characters do desperate things to keep couples apart, but faking a felony to frame a 20-something kid who's just trying to live his life, that is next-level psychotic behavior. And let us just break down the sheer audacity of this plan for a second. Ivy genuinely thought she could tie herself up, plant some fake evidence pointing to Will, and the police would just, lock him up forever. She thought Electra would suddenly run into RJ's arms because Will was supposedly this violent monster. It is so incredibly foolish. It shows exactly how detached from reality Ivy has become. She has this elitist Forrester complex where she thinks she can just manipulate in the entire world like a puppet master, and nobody will ever catch on. But she is not Stephanie Forrester, okay? She is not even Quinn Fuller on her worst day. She is just a desperate, obsessive aunt who completely ruined her own life because she could not mind her own business. Thank the soap opera gods for Daphne Rose Walton. Seriously, can we get a round of applause for Daphne? She is literally the MVP of this entire month. Daphne is the only person on this entire canvas who actually possesses a moral compass right now. While Carter is stressing about their negative pregnancy tests and telling her to stay out of it, Daphne is out here doing the Lord's work. She's the one who blew the lid off the fake kidnapping right at the last possible second. I was literally on the edge of my seat, biting my nails thinking Will was actually going to get arrested for this. Will has been through enough. But Daphne swoops in, exposes the entire fraudulent setup, and the police turn their attention right back to Ivy. The scene where the cops confront Ivy and the truth comes out, pure cinema. Give Ashley Brewer the Emmy right now because her breakdown was spectacular. When she realized she was caught, when she realized Electra was looking at her like she was a literal monster, Ivy just crumbled. She completely collapsed. It was not even satisfying to watch. It was just deeply disturbing. She was screaming, her mascara was running. She was completely incoherent. The police literally had to drag her away. And now she has been committed to an isolated mental institution. I know Ashley Brewer is going on maternity leave in real life. And we all knew an exit was coming, but checking into an asylum after faking a kidnapping to frame a Spencer, that is a legendary exit. But wait, because it does not stop there. You would think that being locked in a padded room would force Ivy to reflect on her actions, right? Wrong. She is sitting in this isolated facility, completely cut off from the world, and she is writing anonymous, hate-filled letters to the family. I'm sorry, but what? She is sending these cryptic, terrifying letters back to Los Angeles, hinting that she is not alone. She is claiming that she has a secret ally on the outside who is preparing a brutal Tancock revenge against Will Spencer. Am I the only one who is terrified by this? Who on earth could her ally be? My mind is running a million miles an hour trying to figure this out. Is it someone we already know? Is it RJ? I mean, RJ has been acting like a complete entitled brat lately, but I do not think he would team up with an institutionalized woman to destroy Will. Could it be someone from Will's past? Could it be Sheila? No, Sheila is too busy stalking Deacon and Taylor and trying to pretend she has changed. Whoever the secret ally is, they have cast this massive dark cloud over the entire family. The new jewelry line is in absolute shambles. Elektra is traumatized, the business is suffering, and there is this looming threat that Will is going to be targeted again. It is brilliant writing, I will admit it, but my stress levels are through the roof. Okay, take a breath, let us pivot. Because while all of this Ivy drama is exploding, we have the Melissa Dillon situation, and I am telling you, I was absolutely blindsided. I mean, my jaw literally hit the floor and stayed there. Remember that creepy phone call Dillon got at Forrester Creations? The disguised voice saying they had unfinished business. We all thought it was just some abusive ex-boyfriend or maybe a prank. We knew it had something to do with Remy Price, but I thought Remy was just going to be an annoying relative asking for money or trying to hook up with Deke Sharp. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Remy Price is a blackmailer, and Melissa Dillon has a dark, twisted past. It turns out that Dillon, the sweet, innocent former art teacher who felt so guilty about coming between Will and Elektra that she moved out of the beach house, was involved in a murder. A literal murder. Many years ago, Dillon was accidentally involved in a homicide, and Remy Price knows the truth. Remy has the evidence. Remy has been holding this over her head, and now Remy is cashing in. I feel so betrayed by Dillon. I actually liked her. I really did. I thought she was a breath of fresh air. I thought she genuinely cared about Will and was just caught in a bad situation with Elektra's jealousy. But her entire good girl persona was a complete fabrication. She has been hiding this massive dark secret this entire time. And now Remy is using this murder secret to blackmail her into committing corporate espionage. Let us talk about the demands, because Remy does not just want cash. Remy wants Eric Forrester's exclusive designs. The very same designs that Katie Logan and Bill Spencer have been using to launch their new fashion line. The designs that have been causing this massive soaring feud between Katie and Brooke. Remy wants them, and Remy forces Dillon to steal them directly from Ridge Forrester's office. Dillon is trapped. She is standing between her loyalty to Forrester Creations, her new career, her feelings for Will, and the very real threat of going to prison for murder. It is a classic soap opera dilemma, but the way she goes about solving it is what makes me so sick to my stomach. Dillon realizes she cannot just break into Ridge's office. She needs the key to the safe, and who has access to the safe? RJ Forrester. So what does Dillon do? She seduces RJ. I cannot even type this without rolling my eyes into the back of my head. She actively decides to use RJ's massive ego and his desperate need to prove he's a real Forrester against him. RJ is so easily played, it is actually embarrassing. I mean, RJ's been walking around the office, picking fights with Will, throwing punches, calling Will a greedy Spencer, and acting like he's God's gift to women. He manipulated Dillon just days ago, telling her to go after Will so he could have Elektra to himself. And now the tables have completely turned. Dillon plays him like a cheap fiddle. She flirts with him, she feeds his ego, she gets him into a vulnerable position, and she steals the key to the safe. RJ thinks he is this suave player, but he is nothing but a foolish mark. He was so distracted by his own arrogance that he did not even realize he was handing over the keys to his grandfather's legacy to a blackmailed former art teacher with a murder secret. It is poetic justice for RJ, honestly. I do not feel bad for him at all. He deserves to be knocked off his high horse after the way he has been treating Will and acting so entitled. But the heist itself, oh my gosh, Dillon actually goes through with it. She sneaks into Ridge's office, she opens the safe, and she steals Eric's exclusive designs. She hands them over to Remy Price. Do you understand the magnitude of this? This is not just a little office theft. This is the biggest corporate espionage scandal in the entire history of Forrester Creations. This makes Sally Specter's stealing designs look like child's play. These are Eric's legacy designs. The fallout from this is going to be apocalyptic. Ridge is going to absolutely lose his mind. He is already furious about the personal drama in the office. He already lectured RJ about treating the fashion house like a boxing ring. When Ridge finds out that his own son was seduced into giving up the safe key and that the new hire stole Eric's designs, Ridge might actually have a heart attack. And what about Katie and Bill? Their entire fashion event was built on these designs. This espionage scandal is going to ripple through every single family on this canvas. The Forresters, the Logans, the Spencers, everyone is going to be dragged into this mess. And that brings me to the most tragic part of this entire storyline. Will Spencer. Can we please For the love of all that is holy, give Will Spencer a break. I am begging the writers at this point. I am on my knees begging. Look at what this poor guy has been through in the last month. First, Elektra dumps him out of nowhere because Ivy stole her letter and manipulated the situation. Then, RJ starts physically assaulting him at work and calling him a fake Forrester. Then, Ivy fakes a kidnapping to frame him for a felony and nearly gets him sent to prison. And through all of this, who was the one person Will thought he could trust Melissa Dillon? Dillon was his confidante. Dillon was the one who lived at the beach house with him, the one who supported him, the one he was starting to develop real feelings for. And now Will has to find out that Dillon is a fraud. She is an accomplice to murder, she is a corporate spy, and she seduced his biggest rival RJ just to steal from his family's company. When Will realizes that the person he trusted the most is actually a criminal who played everyone, he is going to be completely crushed. He is going to be destroyed. I do not know how Will recovers from this. He lost Elektra to Ivy's lies, and now he has lost Dillon to Remy's blackmail. Will is completely alone, surrounded by liars, manipulators, and psychopaths. The betrayal is just so deep. Will is a good guy. Yes, he has a temper. Yes, he is a Spencer. But he did not deserve any of this. He did not deserve to be framed, and he certainly did not deserve to fall for a woman who was hiding a murder. I'm just sitting here staring at my screen trying to process how we got here. A fake kidnapping and asylum, anonymous hate letters, a secret murder, blackmail, seduction, and the biggest espionage scandal in Forrester history. All in 1 week. The pacing is incredible. I will give them that. I am hooked. I am absolutely addicted to this mess. But my heart cannot take much more of this stress. I need to know what you guys think. Please flood the comments right now. Who do you think Ivy's secret ally is? Is it someone from the past returning to get revenge on the Spencers? And what is going to happen to Dillon? Is she going to go to jail for the murder or for the corporate espionage? Will Ridge fire RJ for being so stupid? And most importantly, who is going to pick up the pieces of Will Spencer's broken heart? I genuinely think Dillon is going to try to explain herself to Will. She is going to cry and say she had no choice, that Remy was going to ruin her life. But Will cannot forgive this. You do not just forgive someone for seducing your enemy and stealing millions of dollars worth of intellectual property because they were covering up a murder. Dillon is done. Her career is over. Her relationship with Will is over. And she is probably going to end up in a cell right next to Ivy's padded room. And as for Elektra, she has to be feeling so much guilt right now. She pushed Will away, she alienated her aunt, and now her aunt is in an asylum and her jewelry line is cursed. If Elektra has any sense left, she will go to Will, apologize for everything, and they can trauma bond over how completely insane the last few weeks have been. But knowing the show, they will probably introduce another obstacle before that happens. I am going to try to get some sleep, but I highly doubt I will be able to. My mind is just racing with theories about Remy Price and Ivy's letters. If you enjoyed this late night rant, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because I will definitely be back tomorrow to break down whatever fresh hell the writers throw at us next. Until then, keep your safe keys hidden and do not trust your sweet art teacher roommates.